Gluttony, and what was the other thing? Oh, entitlement, right? Entitlement. Thought I had a little stand in here. I guess I took it out. I need a phone stand, so I'm not like this isn't a mount, but like I need to put it up here. So, anyways, good morning. It's still morning, even for East Coast people. So let some people come in here. I have not been live on this channel in quite a bit. I'm out here running errands, and I figured I would talk a little bit about something that's been on my heart. Greetings, morning, Snorelord. What's up? There's the notifications, so let's put that on here. Don't forget, I'm a standard moderator for this channel. Good deal. Responsibility, right? Responsibility matters. I'm hoping, Marnie, I'm not going to do a guitar jam for 4 hours, but I am thinking about getting one done today, or tonight, I guess it would be. But, it's Saturday, right? And we don't want to live in perpetual Saturday. So what we've been doing here lately is look, first of all, there's a difference between religion and spiritual, right? So let's talk about that for a second. Or let's think of that a second. I'm not going to talk about it. But for me, there's a lot of religious people that see Saturday as the day of the Sabbath, which, you're supposed to rest, right? What the wife and I have figured out is we do a day of where we don't do anything important, like a casual drive somewhere, or like I think tomorrow we're going to go to Bass Pro and just look around, not spend any money, but just kind of look around. I am going to buy some new shoes, but that's different. Whereas today it's all about errands. She's out doing the grocery store stuff. I'm out doing grocery store stuff. We kind of tag team that stuff, but I do know that for a while we found ourselves trying to take Saturday off from life, from work, and we just can't get everything done, especially with the jobs that we have. So, and I know that when I first got off the road, I didn't want to live in perpetual Saturday, and so, and that's what happened to all the kids when COVID shut down and everything. Was they lived in perpetual Saturday. They didn't have to worry about school. They didn't have to worry about this. They didn't have to worry about that. And so it, perpetual Saturday makes people lazy. And that's kind of where I'm going with this. So on the health journey, I have not been strict carnivore. And I have lapsed in a couple of places. We went to the roll throwing place. You guys have seen those signs if you go through Southeast or Southwest Missouri from Lambert's where they throw the rolls at you. I partaked in that, and I'll tell you what, man, I could not walk the next day. It was amazing how bad that felt. And I was thinking about that whole environment, we were there for a friend's mom's birthday. We were invited. So we're like, okay, we'll do this, right? And the whole environment, it was noisy. All the little kids in there were miserable, so they were screaming. It wasn't even that busy, but it was noisy, right? Like, how do you can't thrive in that kind of environment. And it's a gluttonous environment. And if you think about the internet, if you think about what we're taught, what we're told to do as consumers, we're gluttonous. That's why buffets exist. That's why binge watching TV shows exist. We have this bad habit of at the house getting into The Office, that TV show, binge watching, like, because it's easy to do. The shows are seamless. They continue with one long story. And I found that that's tough to deal with. Like, I've been watching Reacher on Amazon, and the first 3 episodes, I think I got through in the first week, but then they're starting to only release them one at a time every week, once a week. And I found myself actually enjoying that. Like, I'm not going to sit there and binge watch something for 8 hours and then I have nothing to watch. And then I'm sitting there waiting for the next thing to come along. And I think that's the whole purpose is we've become an entitled, gluttonous culture because that's how we make money. That's how we can, it's consume, consume, consume. And I have a gluttonous nature about me. I have a pretty awesome CD collection. I'm starting to develop a pretty awesome record collection. I've got way too many knives than a man needs. And the pew pews, well, I got gluttonous with that a little bit too. And is it serving me right now? Nope. It's created clutter in my house. And then, of course, I was gluttonous with food. Gluttonous with alcohol, too, by the way. And you know what? None of it's ever served me. None of it. Delayed gratification is a lost art. That is absolutely true, Pigtail. And so while I've been able to maintain a little bit of the weight loss I was doing on the strict carnivore diet, I have gone back to fasting, right? And in the spiritual way, the spiritual component, you're not supposed to brag about it. You're not supposed to show your suffering. You're not supposed to, and then there's a good reason because it's more of a quiet rebellion, right? And what I have found is that if I say certain prayers or certain things during fasting, I have this clarity that really kind of helps me with my gluttonous urges that I have. And here's the thing: this is not a Christian thing per se. It's a spiritual thing, right? We are constantly under a spiritual attack, and we went to a meeting at church last week that talked about spiritual warfare, and I've been reading books on spiritual warfare. And so our flesh is the pilot light, right? The urge to tell somebody that they're wrong, the urge to make fun of somebody, the urge to tell yourself that you're not worthy of anything, right? And what the demonic does is it pours gasoline on that fire. Next thing you know, you got a fire that's out of control and you're not within your control anymore. And so in an effort to get rid of my gluttony that I'm very guilty of, even when I'm eating, even if I'm doing a strict diet, like I'm eating too much meat, I'm eating too much hamburger. I don't need this much food, right? I just need enough to sustain me, the protein to sustain my muscles, and that's it. I don't need 18 kinds of meat. I don't need to eat 5-pound ribeyes. And so, you know, there's a great song by Hatebreed, Destroy Everything. Destroy what makes you weak. I encourage you to listen to that song and read the lyrics to that song. You have to start with yourself when you change, right? And being gluttonous makes me weak. It creates clutter in my house. It makes me feel bad physically. It makes me feel bad mentally. I mean, how do you feel when you binge watch like Breaking Bad? Do you feel good about that? Or do you feel like kind of comatose? And see, and that's where the rebellion part comes in, because if the bigger picture wants you to be gluttonous, they want you to consume, they want you to be preoccupied with things that aren't important, that don't have a direct correlation with your life. Um, and think of it like the NFL. What would the NFL be if it wasn't for the consumers, right? Like you got to have all your teams t-shirts and go to all the games and then consume the food at the stadiums and all that. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry off of consumption, off of gluttony, off of And look, I'm not judging, right? If you're into sports, which, I mean, I admit I was rooting for the Chiefs, um, when they were in the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, it wasn't important to me. It wasn't changing my life. All it was water cooler talk, if there was such a thing in my world. And, but like, think about, I think, okay, so think about what I'm doing in my life. What makes me feel good? What makes me feel like I have purpose? And what makes me feel like comatose? And going to the Chinese food buffet makes me feel comatose. Um, Overspending on, the Pew Pew store or the CD store or overspending on Amazon. Amazon, we got that instant gratification, right? I'm an Amazon Prime member now. And Amazon's quick to point out how much money you're saving on shipping whenever you order something. And it's nice to be able to order something and then not have to deal with the public, deal with the stores, which I'm getting ready to go into war right now with where I'm at. I'm not going to reveal where I'm at, but just, these are thoughts in my, and look, I can't judge. I'm not judgmental. There's a lot of, Christians that get it wrong, with either fasting or with judgment or with telling you to repent, that kind of thing. And I'm not one of those guys. I'm just basically speaking about my journey of defeating what makes me weak. Sometimes sometimes you gotta, if you gotta do home repairs, you gotta gut everything out and just start over. Or sometimes you gotta get rid of, it's nature, right? If you go into fasting, autophagy kind of breaks down the cells that are making you weak. That's an awesome design, don't you think? And it's like that with anything, building houses, building cars. You want to restore you know, an old car. Well, sometimes you got to gut it. You got to strip it. You've got to take away what's making it weak. I used to do auto body. We would take a rusty panel and cut it. There was a Monte Carlo that we worked on one time, or a Cutlass. I think it was a Cutlass. Quarter panels the size of a small pickup, right? And there was so much rust that we had to basically cut half of it out, put a new panel on there, and then we had to bondo and weld and all that stuff just to make it look good again. Rebuild. It was a restoration. It wasn't a repair. It was a restoration. And so, and the longer you let a car go, like I got a friend that's got a Camaro that I offered to buy like 20 years ago, but they wouldn't sell it. And now that car is beyond, it's not beyond, but it's going to take a lot to restore that car, right? And the longer you let things go, like your health, like your spiritual health, like your mental health, like your physical health, the more you're going to have to strip away to go back to the beginning. And then the devil likes to go, hey, you know that little bit of hope you have? I'm going to strip that down. I'm going to make you feel worthless. I'm going to make you think that there's no way out. Because that's what the purpose is to kill your hope. And that, my friends, is the spiritual battle that we're all in. Every single one of us. I don't care if you're religious or not. We're all in a battle to not lose hope. And it's easier if you're drugged up, or if you're over consuming and just numb. If you go out and eat half of a birthday cake, you're going to feel numb. You're going to have that sugar coma. And our bodies, were not designed to do that, right? That's the physical aspect. Our brains weren't meant to process that. Our livers weren't meant to process that. But man, it sure makes you like give in to urges and go on Amazon and go on, these shopping sites, and buy things that you didn't know you needed until you saw it. Think about the old days of Walmart. How many times did we buy something that was an impulse aisle because you didn't know it existed, and then once you saw it, you're like, "That's a great invention. I'm gonna buy that." Right? Next thing you know, you're at Walmart and you've got a cart full of stuff that you just went in there for a couple of hamburgers and that's it. You know. So these are just the thoughts in my head, and now, and here's what they do is they tell you that you're entitled to this. They give into that entitlement, that little pilot light that says, of your flesh, that says you're entitled to all of this, right? And you deserve this Coca-Cola. You deserve a drink after a bad day. You deserve to go out for 18 pizzas because you've worked hard this week, or you have suffered, so therefore you deserve reward, when it's the reward that makes you suffer. Man, how about that? How about that for a circle, right? So just kind of keep this in mind as you're going throughout your day. What what makes you weak? What makes you struggle? Where's the root of your anxiety coming from? Where's the root of your fear coming from? Where is the root of whatever makes you miserable? What is the root of your depression? What is the root of your inability to process information? What is the root of not being able to stay focused and you're overly distracted? I'll tell you, some of it's this. A lot of it is this, right? Destroy what makes you weak. And as you go without, as you have your withdrawals, as you fast, and fasting doesn't have to necessarily mean food either. You'll realize it will help you realize where's the root of this coming from. Like, for example, if you go without alcohol, right? And you have this, and you're strict to it. You're very good about sticking to that. When do you have the urge to drink? A lot of people that smoke cigarettes that try to quit, it's usually a stressful situation that causes them to smoke cigarettes. Well, my one of my parents died and my kid was doing this, and my wife was in jail, and so I had to take up smoking because I just couldn't take it anymore. So is it the cigarette that's the problem? No, it's the inability to focus on stress, the inability to handle the stress that life will throw at you that causes you to pick up that cigarette. And you can do that with anything. You can do that with alcohol, you can do that with food, you can do that with overconsumption, overbuying, and as long as you got that moment of clarity, a pause. Like I heard some advice today, like if you're an Amazon addict and you find something cool, put it in your cart, but then set a timer for 72 hours to see if you still need that thing, right? And that's good advice. So I don't know. Let me go to the comments here. That's just a thought, right? I'm not holier than thou. I'm not better than you. In fact, I'm probably worse than you. Um, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to build myself to be a better man, to be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better dispatcher, to be a better safety manager, to be a better musician, right? Um, sorry, there was a hair there. And that's that's my goal, right? I'm not good with pre-recorded videos on this platform, especially on the OG channel. I have done pre-recorded videos, but not a whole lot of people watching. And and that must be how God feels. There's a message out there that people just don't want to hear. And where does that come from? Just a thought. All right, let's go to the comments here. I appreciate everybody coming in. Sterling says greetings. Desert Okie Pan, good morning. Marty says, can we get a guitar jam for 4 hours? Not 4, but we might get something today. My name is Nobody. Good morning. I had to redo the internet at the house this morning. I'm testing with you. Thanks. Don't tell anyone I joined Super Ego. Yes. We will not. Ignore the calendar and every day is Saturday, right? Speaking of lazy, I'm filming a pew pew video in backyard. Dude, I can't wait to see that. You have a luxury that if I had that same luxury, I would have to be gluttonous with ammo, because I'd be out in the backyard on a moment's whim, Good morning. Hope everyone had a great week. Cheek Frey Holler, Pigtail. I think there's this gluttonous. It's a dire warning in every religion. Yes, it is. It's not just Christianity that says you shouldn't be gluttonous. They all say it, right? Some religions will kill you for being gluttonous, right? Delayed gratification is a lost art, and that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm mastering, right? I'm making 9 pounds of jerky this weekend, preparing for a 6-week hunting trip. There you go. Wasn't that the second time you cut your hand in almost the same way? I don't know what you're talking about. Can't spell sustainability without ability. That is true. Dopamine fatigue from doom scrolling, binge watching, etc., right? TikTok is designed to do that. Being about to work gives me the feeling of purpose, right? Bull of the Woods, what's up? Hey, good morning, Steve, with both feet. How you doing? TJ agrees with me. At Walmart, I saw Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored Hershey Kisses. I walked by. It's interesting to bring that up, Sterling. So, I was apologizing to my wife this morning because I was sorry that I got her introduced to coffee. And here's why. Because the way I did it was when we first started, going out, I told her the magic of the carnation flavored creamers. And that's what made her hooked on coffee. And now we can't even I haven't been drinking that stuff in a long time, but they turn chemically, like your body just it just rejects it, right? And so when I see the terms Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored Hershey Kisses, there's a curiosity that goes, I wonder what that tastes like. And then there's something that goes, hey, it's going to be chemically tasting like the crappy coffee creamers. And then there's no temptation. Also, that's the man trying to kill you, but there's that, right? So, you're making me feel bad about the double Whataburger I had yesterday. Hey, if you take out the bun, man, you're good. The vegetables are okay, and then the hamburgers, you're fine, dude. So, and Bola Wood says, yes, sir. So, this is why this channel's not popular, because I speak what's on my mind, and I speak what I feel is the truth, and the truth isn't popular. Just all there is to it. But I'm okay with that, because at night I could sit there and say, you know what? I did what I could without doing all the viral tricks. Well, I take that back. I'm a liar. I have done a couple of viral tricks with the cats. Cat video is supposed to bring up reviews, and it has. Yeah, I've done cat videos on both channels, but and then red chicken's supposed to go viral, but it hasn't done it yet. I've got a couple of red chicken videos coming up, so make sure you subscribe to Red Chicken's channel. But this world is a circus. It's a gluttonous dopamine minefield. It will bring depression. It will bring anxiety. It will bring bad health, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what, if you're male or female. Destroy what makes you weak. Have a good day. Peace.